up? Welcome back to Keeping with Chens. Today, I'm be interviewing Cubing 2, and we're be asking her some questions about cubing, YouTube, clock, and more. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. So, first question. So, you tend to make some very high quality videos, and by that, I just mean low aperture, blurred background. You can tell you've thought through your content. How do you come up with your ideas? And is there any advice you would give to, say, like a younger YouTuber who wanted to start?
Well, if I'm honest, I haven't been very great at coming up with ideas until recently, but something that has helped me is I take out a notebook and just jot things down. Like, for some
Smart.
reason, when you take out a notebook, the ideas they just come. Where if you're just sitting there thinking about it, you get writer's block. Or is that the right term to use, writer's block?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. That's
Yeah.
smart. That's smart. Yeah, videos can be hard to come up with.
Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting that they come to you for writing. Because I know for myself personally, my posting schedule shows it. I'll have no ideas for 3 months, and then in a week I'll get 20 amazing ideas for a video. And then it's just funny like that. So that's cool. That's some good advice.
Yeah, I used to my ideas were mostly just unboxings, but then my channel was just all about unboxings, and it was working for me, but I don't know. I just felt like I needed to step away from that for a little bit, so my last few uploads haven't really been unboxings, and I'm trying to come up with more original ideas.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like unboxings are very, people, if you're going to start a Cuban channel, that's what will first come to mind for people, and they stick with it. So that's kind of very surprising. Because it's reviews, tutorials, boom, you got a Cuban channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and those were the types of videos that I enjoyed when I started cubing, so I was like, might as well do unboxings.
I think with cubing content and stuff, it can be hard because it's such a niche thing. It's when someone says when someone is talking about YouTube, I'm like, oh, I make YouTube videos. And they're on my channel, they're so confused because they know nothing about cubing because it's so niche. So I think that the first thing that comes to mind for a lot of that is the unboxings and reviews tutorials. So it makes sense because they're so good to make for such a specific thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to the next thing. Organize my thoughts here. Clock world record. We're just gonna go. Normally I try to lead into things, but not today. We got a chaotic podcast. On to the clock world record. It was earlier today or something, or maybe yesterday. I noticed there was a new clock world record average. So what are your thoughts on that?
I haven't really looked into the average itself, so I don't really know. It was used. 7x1 was used with that average, right?
I don't know. There was only one solve on video apparently. Because the person who got it, because I looked this up last night because I was going to make a video about it, and then I was like, I don't know enough about clock. But there's only one solve video, at least on YouTube, and it was this random guy videoing someone for one solve. But I would assume because it's the fastest method, I think, right?
Yeah. I think it's interesting that we're starting this new year with the new regulations, and Tommy's records are just being broken instantly. Yeah. I don't know if Tommy has competed recently, but I'm surprised he hasn't set any records.
Yeah, at FSU Burst, I know he did. I missed clock or something like that, or clock finals. I forget. I wasn't there because obviously I didn't make finals. I'm not very fast at clock. And I had to go. And then my friend, that one, Cuber, almost name dropped, texted me. She's like, Tommy almost got a world record, average. And apparently he DNF'd. That's all I know of. I feel I thought as soon as I heard about that new regulation thing, I was like, oh my gosh, someone super fast is going to set the most ridiculous, unimaginable time ever.
Yeah, it really makes a difference because sometimes before these regulations were set, sometimes you didn't really have to mess with the pins, but then other times you would have to push all 4 of them, and that really takes up some time, especially when you're pretty fast like him.
Yeah, I can imagine that could affect a lot. Cause it's almost being able to do I don't know. I'm not good at clock. One of my things for February is I'm going to make a series if I theoretically commit to it, where I try to get fast at that. But I imagine it's getting to orient the cube how you want to start, and then like getting cross done. Maybe, I don't know. Those are the two things I would find it closest to. What about you? I don't know. Thing is, I'm not good at clocks, so I randomly got into listening to all these clock news, and I know nothing about clock.
Actually, I didn't know about this world record average until you told me. So you're ahead of me.
Yeah, I don't know. WCA Live, thank you, WCA Live, for all your latest cubing news. To be a service, you should like hire someone to be like, "Welcome to the WCA Live. Today we are going to talk about 3 national records from countries no one's ever heard of."
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be an interesting show. I think all keepers would watch that.
It would be very interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, that world record covered in the podcast. Check. So my brain's working right now. But I think next talking about videos would be a good topic, because my little brother was recently talking to me because we need a backstory and everything, right? Because people obviously care to listen to it.
Yeah.
But my little brother was telling me, he was like, if someone is slow, in quotations, because slow is subjective, but if someone is slow, he was like, can they start a cubing channel? So I want to know your thoughts on that, because I'm curious what other keepers think on that topic.
Well, when I started my channel, I was averaging like sub 30, I believe. So I wasn't all that fast. I mean, I'm still not super fast today. Yeah. But you can still make videos. Nice. Yeah. I don't see an issue with making cubing content and not being fast, because cubing content is like nowadays is not just like unboxings, reviews, tutorials. At this point, I think we've reached like the entertainment topic. You know what I mean.
Topic. Yeah. Like, it's like merging almost.
Yeah. So it's more like catching people's attention and just keeping them entertained.
Yeah.
Like challenges are something that a few years ago, like, you know, people did like challenges on their cubing channels. I feel like it wasn't as popular as unboxings and reviews, but I think it's grown to become more popular nowadays with the lower attention spans. Stuff. So
the lower attention spans. Yeah, I feel like it's like, I almost pulled out my headphones there. I feel like it's probably going to change a lot soon, because I feel like there was like almost like the vlogging era. It was like the Casey Neistat cubing edition era, and then we went into like the J-Prim era, maybe. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention to the different eras when I started cubing when I was 7. So I wasn't like, oh, look at that, there's a new YouTuber. But I feel like there's more like the cube head era. So we're probably going into more of a challenge era. That would definitely make sense.
Yeah, like a bunch of the YouTube shorts. I feel like those became like a bunch of challenges, like because the content is becoming more like Mr. Beast content, if we're honest. Because like people, but he's really good at catching people's attention.
Yeah.
And so
there's a big thing on that right now. Have you seen that? It's not really keeping related, but with like Wholesome Simon and all that, like these filmmakers, I was talking about like the Mr. Beastification of YouTube.
No, I haven't heard of it.
Because I'm gonna abuse my phone this entire podcast. Chuck it. But basically, they're like filmmakers, right? And I think it almost contributes to cubing in that like these big giants and then smaller channels. And they're filmmakers, and obviously it can be a little, I imagine like a little disappointing for a filmmaker when someone will work like 9 hours on a project, and Mr. Beast has his whole team, and he gets like 100 million views, and then everyone just copies him with AI editors. You know what I mean? So that's like the main focus of it. So I could see that with cubing it going that way, and then something like that happening. Because there's also underrepresented channels. Yours, for example, like you have like what 1.1K?
Yeah, I think like exactly 1.1K.
Wow, I feel so smart. Look at that, I guess it. But like I feel like there's a lot of, in every niche in YouTube, but especially cubing, there's like, I don't want to say competition, but there's a lot of saturation for a smaller market. I'm actually curious how many cubers there are in the world, because if I meet a cuber at youth group, the odds are that cuber doesn't go to comps and stuff.
Yeah.
So I wonder how many people like consider themselves like a cuber in the world. Because like,
Yeah.
there's lots of people at comps, and most cubers don't even go to comps, right? I think.
Yeah.
So people
I didn't go
should
to
go
my
to
first
comps.
comp until like 4 years into cubing. So
Yeah.
sometimes there are cubers, but they just like they can't compete, or there are no local comps for them. So
Yeah.
that could also be part of it.
Sometimes always confuse me is people that also don't want to. I met someone at youth group the
Yeah.
other day who was like, I just don't want to. It's too much pressure. And I'm like, yeah, there's pressure, but after like those 30 seconds of cold sweats, when you go up to
Yeah.
do 3x3, like after that, it's super fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
that would make
And then
sense.
and competitions are more like breaking your own records. It's not
Yeah.
trying to get first, second, or third, or
And then I get back to
beating
school and
someone
everyone's
else.
like, did you get the world record, Kinsley?
Yeah.
And I'm like, actually, yeah, I just beat Timon Koleskinski casually. That was exactly what I came there to do.
Yeah. People don't realize like how difficult it is to get the world
Yeah.
record and how fast it actually is. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was talking to
Something else.
there was a girl that I did like a homeschool co-op with,
Uh-huh.
and I taught her how to solve a cube, but she didn't get into speed solving. But she knew I was a speed cuber, and
Yeah.
so one time I was talking to her about like competitions and stuff, and she was like, "Oh, you must win like every single one." I'm like, "No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's
People get that
really
wrong.
hard to do that." I'm like, I was telling her about Tommy because he's like
One of the
pretty
fastest
much
in the
like the
world.
fastest in Florida too. So,
Yeah.
like pretty much every comp I go to, he's there, and it's hard to.
Can't win anything.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten anything faster than him.
Yeah. It's like
I
you want to
mean,
be the best in Florida, you have to be the best in the world.
yeah. And so I was telling her, I was like, like at that time, I think he averaged like maybe 8 to 7 seconds on 3x3, and I was averaging like I want to say 12. She's like, "Oh, that's just a 4 second difference." And I'm like, "But when you get to that
Just a
level,
4 second
four
difference.
4 seconds is a lot of time." And she's like,
Yeah.
"No, not really." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like,
That's
you have to
like
like remove
years
all
of
those
look ahead
pauses."
training.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm still not there, and
Yeah.
that was like a few years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, the funniest thing happened. I've been doing this thing where my dad owns a jiu-jitsu academy, and
Mhm.
like before class start, I'll teach cubing classes at the academy, and I put a
Mhm.
little sign up for it, and I hadn't got any inquiries, and then someone emailed me, right, and I got excited,
Mhm.
and it was this lady, and she goes, "Hi, my son need to be world champion." She was like, "We cannot pay, but when my son become world champion, we pay you back in full." And that's not even the big thing, but I like just didn't respond because I didn't know how to tell this lady your son is not going to be the world champion.
Yeah.
She was like,
Like,
but I felt so bad because it was probably someone who wasn't like the first language was English and all that. But she was like,
uh-huh.
"We be very." Oh my gosh. I hate to break it to you, but your son isn't going to be the world champion.
Yeah, if he wants to be a world champion, he's gonna have to learn from a world champion.
Yeah. It's like, I cannot
Yeah.
teach this kid how to be a world champion. I know
Yeah.
nothing.
You're
It's,
like, I'm still trying to figure out how to get there.
yeah.
I don't know how I could teach someone else how to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so funny though, because I was like, I don't think people understand that like I'm not the best in the world. Like I heard to do
Mhm.
track or something, they're pretty good, so they can say, oh, they want to go to like states or whatever and make the next thing or
Mhm.
whatever. But I'm like in cubing, it's not like, oh, you're in the cubing club at school and then you go to regionals and
Mhm.
states.
Yeah.
You gotta beat your own thing. So I think it's like almost unique in its own way. But like I wonder if cubing will go like that one day to where people
Mhm.
like have like the championships are hard to get into. Like, I guess technically Nats, you had to like average like what 40 was the cutoff.
I do not remember, to be honest, but it
Yeah,
was somewhere around there.
yeah, it was like 40 or 45 or something. People had to already have in comp to come to nationals. But I'm curious if like that will lower, like for like really hard comps or whatever. Because
Mhm.
when I did a podcast with Felix Index, he was talking about how maybe like more fast people specific comps. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that would be interesting, except I can't compete in them, so therefore I'm against
Yeah.
them. but I think that would be interesting. I don't know. How do we even get there? Kinsley's ADHD thought brain. Just go over there, all of these
Yeah. I mean, the fast cuber comps, it kind of sounds like a good idea to me, because I don't know if you heard about this, but apparently they're going to have like newcomer comps, and only like
Oh, I
newcomers will
did hear about
compete in
that.
that.
I didn't
Yeah.
like that. Because once
You
again,
know,
I
like
can't compete in them.
that's true. Yeah,
Where's the
that's one of the downsides is after you compete once, you can't go to any of those
yeah?
competitions. So
What's the Kinsley's level comp? I need that. I don't want a
yeah,
comp and I don't want a newcomer comp. I want a Kinsley's level.
yeah, that's the issue. When you add one thing, you have to add other things because
Exactly.
then it just makes it fair.
But it'd be interesting to see what kind of times we win those newcomer things. Because I've
Yeah.
seen kids that are newcomers. Like I saw this like kid, maybe might have been a little younger, at my last comp. It was a newcomer and it was like sub 10, and I was like, in a comp? Your
Yeah.
first time? What the heck? The world is so
Yeah.
unfair. So I wonder how this would be, because it'd be so like it varies so much if you get like your average like
Yeah.
50-40 second newcomer, or if you get like the kid that got sub 10 his first comp.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that with like the really fast newcomers.
Yeah.
When I think of newcomers, I just think of
Studs.
people who are just starting out.
Yeah. Yeah, those
Yeah.
kids are studs. I'm telling you, I was like, no way, that's unfair.
Yeah.
The world is so unfair. But yeah, those will be interesting. Who's gonna like organize that though? Like, are the
I
delegates
have
gonna
no
do
idea.
that? Because I don't know if they're like reach out delegates and like we'll give you $1,000. I don't know how that works. If you organize a newcomer comp, but there's not gonna be an organizer that's like, hi, I would like to organize a comp I can't go to. It just doesn't make sense. And I don't
Yeah.
see a newcomer organizing a comp if they've ever been to one before.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
They're probably gonna have to put together like staff team too,
Yeah,
because
some kind of committee.
a lot of newcomers don't even know how to scramble well, and
Yeah, some of them don't even meditation because they copied the JPRM video. It's like, oh, I got the muscle memory.
yeah, yeah, it would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. And I was like, Clinton should go to one, and I was like, he'll go to one I can go to. Yeah, those will be funny. The WCA is interesting. Oh, I have another thing we talked about on the path of WCA. See, it's not a crazy chaotic podcast episode. We're somewhat civilized around here. The WCA, okay, so I don't know what they've said about this, but the table is shaking so much. It's an earthquake in Florida. But basically, I don't know if you've seen this. You probably have, because it's big news. Matthew Mayernick.
Mm-hmm.
Mayernik.
Yeah.
Making this like cubing streaming service or something, or he's streaming cubing. He's streaming it as they have the top down angle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of that. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. But how do you think that will evolve over the next few months? Because I'm very curious about that. So I've asked a lot of people that have come on the podcast.
Like just the streaming, or just like the competitions in general?
Well, like cubing being a spectator sport in that way, like so streaming.
Oh, okay, spectator sport.
That kind of competition stuff. Because the streaming goes into the spectator sport, but I was trying to piece together how I say that. So you help me.
So how you're saying like how it will evolve into becoming a more spectator friendly sport? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really tired. Can you tell my school has not been nice to me? My co-op thing or whatever I go to, it's like, we want you to do all this research and then do 6-minute response, and I'm like, I'm okay.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I was in school not that long ago, so
yeah.
Homeschooling's great. Like, okay, people think that like homeschooling is just like for lazy people, like
exactly.
But then,
it's like
they really have no idea what it's like.
Yeah. Like my school is technically like advanced. So people will be like, oh, you only go to 2 days a week, and they associate the amount of days you go with the amount of homework you get. And I'm like, no, you have not seen my comp and lit class. It's not fun. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I am drowning in comp and lit. It's really funny though, because I guess not to diss the public schoolers, but they're just like, oh, you have 2 days a week. That means you have 2 days of homework.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works. The co-op that I did, we would go 1 day a week, and we would have homework for the entire week. So,
oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I guess the good thing about the 2 days a week is that's 1 day where I'm not left to my own devices to not procrastinate. Yeah.
Can't say I haven't procrastinated with my homeschooling. So
no, it's a bad issue.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll get it done later. That should only take 45 minutes.
No, the day before.
Yeah, that should only take 45 minutes. It takes 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Homeschooling problems.
Yep.
But yeah, circling back to cubing.
Yeah, the spectator stuff.
The spectator sport.
Well, I don't really know how it will evolve, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot more like time-based. That will make it a little more spectator friendly since it shows inspection, right? Like the inspection countdown. I think it does. So like
5, 4,
yeah.
3, 2, 1. Yeah.
I don't know. Because like a lot of non-cubers, they don't know about inspection.
Yeah.
And like that it's actually used in competitions.
It confuses them. They're like, you're allowed to look at it. They're like, that's just 15 seconds. So they're like, you just add 15 seconds to your time. And I'm like, I'm not turning it. And you're like, well, what if they cheated? You don't have an honor system.
I've had people say, you're planning your entire solution. I'm like, no, I'm not. I can only see like the first step. That's it. Advanced solvers that can do that. And like they spend a lot of time and effort in that. So
yeah.
It's fair in that way because they train themselves to be able to plan that much in inspection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. There's a lot of confused things because the first people always think of is someone's gonna cheat if that's a rule.
Yeah.
Like, when I was telling my non-cuber friends, I was on a call with my comp. They're like, "How are you doing, Kinsley?" And I was like, "Cool." I was telling them about the new clock rule, and I was like, "Not that I can use it, but it's kind of cool." And my friend was like, "Oh, that's just cheating." She's like, "You get like most of the solve done," and I'm like, "I may not be good, but I know that's not most of the solve."
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of against the regulations at first, just because it is like you kind of are.
That much of an event is a lot.
You're not changing like the position of the clocks, but the pins do make a difference once you get to a certain level. Yeah. But if I was saying like if they were going to do this, they should have done this a long time ago. If this was the plan, like they should have done this a long time ago when clocks weren't magnetic. Because my first competition, I went to go compete in clock. Actually, I might have the clock right here. Yeah, this one right here.
You're so prepared. I have 0 cubes around me.
This is an old Lingao. And the pin, actually, they don't fall now, but they used to fall down. And so it wasn't WCA legal. And I had to use someone else's clock that I was not used to at all. And I got a DNF average. So
That sucks. I remember once in Scube. I hate Scube. I'm going to go on a little rabbit trail real quick so I can vent about how much I hate Scube. So anyone
I hate
that watches
Scube too.
this podcast gets to hear about how much I hate Scube. Okay, 2 comps ago, I was so excited for Pira. Because, like, for the first time in forever, I had practiced Pira, right? And then my family went out to lunch before, right? And we're coming back, and I'm like, ooh, just made Pira, because I'm looking at a little thing. Well, apparently they were an hour ahead, because I walk in, and they're like, excuse me, do you know what round it is? So, like, this, like, random lady. She's like, oh, it's round. And I'm like, oh, I have time. she was like, of Scube. And I look at her, and I'm like, of all the things that could have made me hate Scube more, you're telling me I missed the entire peer round because I was it should be it was an hour early.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh yeah, it's Scube. I was like, are you sure? And I walk over so I could get a good view of people solving, and sure enough, oh. Hello. I was like, I ever want to get a good view of where my mom homeschools my brothers.
Nice.
Okay. Stay there, webcam. Please. Be my friend. Alright, I don't think it's going to be my friend. You might be getting a slightly different. But then,
Epic shots.
That's how you get all the best B-roll. Just randomly throw the camera around.
Just gotta add some music and it will be perfect.
Yeah. Do. Okay, I'm gonna go with that, and then I'm gonna end up looking to the side because I'm trying to look at the recording. And like that and that and that. Okay, where were we?
You missed your round of Pyraminx.
Yeah, that's where we were. But yeah, and that sucked because I missed Pyraminx and I was really sad.
And was it the first round of Pyraminx?
Yes.
Yeah. So were there any other rounds?
I think there was a Pyraminx finals. But
so that stinks because you could have gone to the next round too.
Overall, everything went downhill that comp. I knew no one, and anyone I tried to socialize with was like, okay, bye. It's like, oh, feelings. But yeah. Wait, where did I go on the rabbit trail? I talked about Scube and why I hate Scube.
The last thing I remember was we were talking about the pin regulation.
Yeah.
But that probably...
How would Scube go with the pin regulation? I'm really tired.
I think it was because I said I had to use someone else's clock and it gave me a bad average, yeah.
And then I was saying, I think I didn't explain why that reminded me of Scube. The reason that reminded me of Scube is I had to do that twice with Scube. Use someone else's cube because there's always a little mark on mine that is pink. Because I left it in my school bag and a pen broke because someone stepped in my bag of my class and they broke it and it got everywhere. So there's a little pink mark, and I don't even use pink pens, so I always had to use people's. But then I got to use little magic because I only use budget cubes for side events except for clock. And I'm not even good at it. You see, I'm passive aggressive about that. But yeah, I'm gonna move this camera. It's killing me. I'm because I don't want the podcast to end up sucking because there's no good angle. Have I done it? I just put it on top of my computer. I think
looks like it's in the same spot.
Wow. Yeah, it was here, I think. But if I just move it here, almost better. Wow, I feel so smart. Yeah, I am the next big filmmaker. Look at that. But yeah. Oh my gosh, this is going to be such a chaotic podcast episode. People are going to end up seeing cuts. It's just the purest clip of Chens' ADHD on the internet. But yeah, I think we can just go into...
I've gone off topic too, so don't worry.
Regulations. Or streaming. Oh, I think we already talked about streaming. Oh yeah, you using someone else's clock. Okay, we'll just go to a new question. Okay, on to the next question. I think I'll just go into the non-cuber questions. Non-cubing. Okay. Not non-cuber. What's 1 + 1? No. Well, if we
gotta think about
one,
that.
Subtract 1, but then add 1 to make up for the subtraction.
So negative.
It should 5. Be 3. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's 3. So basically, just go ahead and ask some non-cubing questions. I was planning a podcast with someone else who's Drew, and he said he already had his answer to are there more doors or wheels in the world, and I wasn't intending on keeping that question. But after that experience, I was like, you know what? I just need to keep that question because if it's so iconic, I didn't know people actually listen to anything I said on my podcast. It's iconic enough for someone to know their answer already. I was like, okay, so I think we'll start off with that one.
So are there more doors or wheels in the world?
Yeah. This is like, I'm never that crazy. I always like try to be like a normal person on my podcast, but apparently I'm tired.
Well, okay, let me think about that. So there are obviously a bunch of doors in a house.
Mm-hmm.
Not only are there doors in like to each room, but there are like cabinets. Those are kind of doors.
Yeah.
You got closet doors.
I guess you have toy cars, but I've always thought it's doors.
Yeah, cars have. They have like the equal amount of doors to wheels.
Yeah.
But then,
16
would you consider like a gear a wheel?
Yeah.
Like,
but then I saw this thing, and it's like apparently in circuits, like in phones. Why did I take off my case? See, I'm like all over the place today. When I'm tired, I'm more energetic, and that's what happened. Apparently, like in phones, in the circuit board, there's like some kind of door that flips up, and there's like thousands or something in every phone. I don't know how circuits work, but apparently there's doors in there, so I don't know how that works. But I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I was thinking of like a clock, like an actual clock, not a Rubik's clock.
Wow, what? That's crazy. I forgot those existed.
Yeah. There are gears in there, and if you consider that a wheel,
That's true.
There's gears in there, but then like to get into the clock, usually there's a door to get to the gears, but then there's usually more than one gear.
But then in a big building in like a city, there's doors.
That's true. So then I would probably say there's more doors than wheels.
Yeah, that's what I think, but then I just realized there's toy cars. My little brother seems to have a million of those. There's also little flaps on
but like some toy cars have doors.
Exactly.
And do the doors actually have to open, or?
Who knows?
Yeah, so I don't think I know the answer to that question. I would probably say doors, though.
Yeah. I never thought about it like a ton until my dad was like, well, do you count like ball bearings and things as like wheels? And I was like, well, they're circular, but they're spheres, so I don't really think so. But I don't know.
Well, like in a skateboard, the ball bearings aren't actually like the wheels. They're just what makes the wheels turn quickly.
Make the wheels turn. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know.
Very confusing question.
It might be equal.
It might be equal. I don't know.
We can ask God that when we get to heaven.
Yeah. Be like, hey, all right, I really gotta know. Are there more doors or wheels in there? Like, just tell me. Great question. First question we're gonna have. Not like, hey God, not like thank you for saving me. Just like, were there more doors or wheels? Great question. But yeah, on to the next one. Pineapple on pizza or no pineapple on pizza?
I love pineapple on pizza.
Finally, someone on this podcast agrees with me. It's so good. It's like the best pizza. And no one ever agrees with me, and I almost take it personally. But then I'm like, no one really cares what you think about pineapple on pizza, Kinsley.
Yeah, like I don't know. It just
works.
It tastes good. Yeah, sweetness works with pizza. I was at a birthday party once. It was like a chocolate factory kind of like birthday party. They did like a tour around the factory, but before that, they had like a dining room, and they had like pizza, and then you made your own chocolate pizza. So they just like put melted chocolate on a plate, let it harden, and then you just got to decorate it. But there was this one of the adults that was there. He decided to pour the chocolate on the pizza, and apparently he liked it a lot. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I'm scared of much, but that scares me. Chocolate on pizza. I don't know. I guess it's also sweet. So
I guess sweetness works with pizza.
But like that's like putting chocolate on bread.
Some people put
and tomatoes. I don't know.
The tomatoes made it seem weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
is it like just a chocolate pizza, or is it like a chocolate and like ham pizza. That sounds worse. I don't know.
I don't know why, but ham and chocolate sounds good to me for some reason.
I don't know. I feel like it would be like really bad or really good. I don't know.
Who knows?
That's my answer to every question.
We need to try it. See if it works. I should try it. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, you should try it, and then you should tell me, and then I'll know if I should try it. Or next time we both go to the same comp, we should try it, and then it'll be like a reference to the podcast. I'd be like, boom, chocolate on pizza.
Yeah. We'll either love it or hate it.
We would love it or hate it. There's no in between. There's no like on. Yeah. It's one of the two extremes. Love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the last one? I feel like I always ask 3. Wait, I asked a different one. Are you a sock person or a non-sock person when you go to sleep?
When you go to sleep?
Oh. Yeah, because people either don't want socks in their feet when they sleep, or people need like fluffy socks in their feet when they sleep.
Okay. For the most part, I wear no socks. But I wear socks if it's like cold at night. Yeah. Like if it's cold out.
The Floridian cold.
Yeah, the Floridian cold. Or like like it might not even be like cold in the room, but like the floor might be cold when I wake up. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's the only time I would say I would wear it. But I found that when I sleep with socks, I wake up and they're not on my feet anymore. So it doesn't really work for me.
Yeah, I was recently converted because I was given a pair of really, really fluffy socks. Really soft. And I was converted to a sock person, but I don't always wear them. Because, like you said, they get, like, stuck under my covers, and I'm like, where'd my socks go? And then I, like, rip up my bed to find my socks.
The other thing is, I feel like my feet need to be a little cold when I'm sleeping.
That makes sense. It's like people who need their, like, room, like, -60.
Well, because, like, I feel like when I put it on my feet, it warms my entire body, and then I don't feel like I really need a blanket anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but...
I hate when that happens, because then your muscle memory is like, I'm not going to go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a fight with your muscle memory. Not very fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was very riveting, and it concludes the podcast. Thank you for watching. I hope people watching enjoyed the conversation. Bye! I'm going to end up cutting that. And I'll probably